Hello guys, this is the Benched Collective podcast. Over the next 15 minutes, you'll hear some amazing thoughts about some amazing movies, from Dune Part 2 to Iron Claw to Bob Marley.
Are you ready for Bob Marley and the Wailers?
You've been fighting the Harkonnens for decades. My family's been fighting them for centuries.
Pop tried to protect us with wrestling. He said if we were the toughest, the strongest, nothing had ever hurt us.
So before we get into the reviews, we just want to say a massive thank you to Picture House Cinemas for providing this opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. There we go. We give thanks. So yeah, do you want to take it away?
First film, Dune Part 2. Charlie, what were you thinking?
I like the film. I didn't love it. How about you?
My name's Tilly. Okay, so Dune, I think, is a good movie because what's his name? Timothy Chalamet. Because he was in it.
I think it was good because Zendaya was in it.
Zendaya.
Two beautiful people.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lily, and I really enjoyed Dune Part 2 because of the characters that were in it. I know from a lot of different movies, and it was just sort of like a good sort of movie because there was a lot of action in it, and that's like the sort of movie I like.
So you say you didn't like the film, maybe like me.
Story-wise, yeah, because I feel like we have the same sort of feeling about it. And I feel like I asked a lot of people after I watched it, and they said, I asked them what did they think, and they all had the same answer, where it was like, screenwriting-wise, story bit-wise, it wasn't...
I don't care for the story. I don't care for the story. You say you enjoyed the film, the actors, obviously the acting.
Yeah.
The acting's amazing. For me, I think it's a beautiful looking film. The sound effects, action is crazy. I just don't care for the story as such. And
I just want to say, like, from the get-go, Austin Butler in that film, my word.
with him going full bald, no eyebrows.
Savage. Just savage. He's just a savage.
Can I say the bit I found scary?
Go on.
The bit where they took her into like a tunnel and she had to drink something and they didn't know she was pregnant.
Yeah.
That was sad.
And she turned into some weird,
her eyes turned different colour.
Blue.
Was it blue? Was it colour? I don't know.
Like really blue.
But
So yeah, for me, Dune Part 2, I think as a filmmaking perspective, beautiful movie, so good. And story-wise, that's where it lacks for me. So I'm going to leave it there at a 6.8. So story lets me down. I'm not connected to the characters, so I can't be connected to the film.
Okay.
But as a film being made, it's beautiful.
I can't argue with that. I'll give it more of a 7.
7?
Just a little bit generous.
What about you?
I think out of all, if I'm going to overall rate it, I think I'd say I'd give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Yeah, same. I think my favourite bit is when, him and Zendaya were like shooting down all the planes and that.
Yeah, that was good. And the way no one believed in Tim, I'm going to call him Tim.
Let's call him Timmy.
Because the way no one believed in Tim.
And then, when they was all in that room and only he could speak.
Yeah.
And he was like, so you can all come and fight me, but if I'm like the, whatever it's called, like the legend, like you guys ain't going to have no one.
Yeah.
I feel like that was very empowering, moment for him.
Obviously, no one believed in him except Zendaya in the first bit of the film. And they spoke a different language, which kind of confused me because I didn't know what they were talking.
It was like...
What are you talking about? But yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10.
Now on that note, that concludes our thoughts on Dune Part 2. I hope you enjoyed that. But here at the Bench Collective, we do things a whole of a lot different. We send shockwaves. We didn't just review the films. That would have been too easy. But we actually channeled our creativity to create something fresh. Something new. Now I can tell you, our Bench Beats young creatives have been at work. And they've actually created several tracks, all inspired by Dune Part 2. This track right here is called Heaven. Have a listen.
When they ask, are you fan? I'm not, but it still takes time in this long, shallow path called life. It's like your heart gets into your mind and you don't know what feels right and what is right. So you listen to Christ. Well, I do. He guides my path even when I didn't know what was light or dark. Had hard times, I can't lie. Wait in the past, but I developed.
On December 3rd, 1976, would-be assassins invaded Bob Marley's home and attempted to take the life of the singer, his wife, and...
Don't worry about that.
So the next film we're going to be reviewing at the Bench Collective is Bob Marley, One Love. We're all going to give our thoughts.
There's a war going on. Oh, I can't bring peace. I can't even get peace for myself.
Today, we're going to start with you. So please take it away of what you thought of Bob Marley.
Film was alright. I kind of enjoyed the film. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the way these guys was showing us how they was creating their beats before they actually get to the studio and recording.
That's cool.
And I enjoyed where they were showing us when he went different countries to his tours and that. Really and truly, there's a lot of stuff in that story that shouldn't be added. That wasn't really necessary. They could have added other bits.
I feel like I wanted to know more about his childhood and things like that. For me, the film, I'll get into my thoughts in a sec, but I just feel like it was just focused on a couple years. Opposed, I want to see Bob as a kid, growing through it as a teenager, as a youth, and
getting into music.
Yeah,
all of that raw
essentially,
stuff first.
yeah. It essentially focused more on the tour itself.
Yeah.
But I feel like from a casual audience point of view, because I'm not really like an avid Bob Marley listener.
Yeah, of
I've
course.
listened to like some of his best stuff, but like I feel like it would have been better.
Actually explain the story properly.
Explain
Actually
his
got
life
in
story
deep into
a
it.
lot more.
But
Because
they didn't.
we got a little bit of snippets. Or how he gets more into like the Rastafari religion and how he meets his wife, stuff like that. And I wanted more of that.
for me, the film, the acting in it is amazing. It's a beautiful looking film, but for me, it feels like one big music video.
Yeah,
with a bit of acting in between. And I wanted more depth and story. I want to know, come out of that film knowing stuff about Bob I never knew. As great as the film was, as we said, it was lacking. They added some stuff I didn't need. Yeah.
It's just pointless. But do you see one thing as well? I knew about Bob Marley before I watched it, so.
Yeah, you're versed in that.
Didn't change nothing. I was explaining my friend what was going to happen.
But with what they had and what they used, I think it was a great story. It was a feel-good film, man. When you hear
it, more than enough time to put more than enough story about Bob Marley. Because if you really enjoy Bob Marley, you will know about his story. Cause he's a legend. Like, even though it's not my generation, my parents used to make me listen to him. Like, they used to listen to him while I'm around. So I did enjoy Bob Marley.
Yeah, it transcends time, and I think the music, when you're in there and you hear it playing in the cinema speakers, you're like,
oh man.
It felt
creating the beats.
How did it feel like hearing that music?
It was like generally so like uplifting to hear stuff that I grew up on, like in really big speakers. It was just like very like.
You wanted to get out your seat and dance.
Yeah,
I'm used to it though. I'm used to it at home.
Yeah.
Big speakers.
But hearing it in the cinema, it was beautiful. How about yourself? How do you think about the film?
I loved it though. It was a very like upbeat sort of movie, except for like the part where he had like cancer and he found out his best mate was playing him. Like the
cancer bit hit me differently.
I know.
Like it hit me different.
I know that's.
I didn't. When I saw that bit of the film, it was at the end, so I couldn't even like be like, all right, I'm gonna get up. I'm not gonna watch the film anymore because it was at the end. Because not that everyone needs to know this, but I've only just recently, found out my uncle's got cancer and it's terminal and stuff like that. So at the end of the film, it hit me differently, and it was just like, yeah. And my mum even, because she come to watch it with me. We had the day off, thinking, oh yeah, we can go get away from everything, and then it ended up coming up in the film.
So who did you go with again?
My mum, my cousin, and
Did she know the story of how Bob goes or no?
No.
Yeah, man, it's a hard one there, right there. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
The whole thing with him, it was just like, it was so sort of, it felt unexpected because he was sort of on like his ascendancy.
I know, and it just gets taken away.
Just taken away. It's like, it's one of those, we've seen so many of those in music, the Kurt Cobains, the Bob Marleys.
Yeah, man.
Amy Winehouse, he's getting her, biopic in a few months, I think.
I think the consensus is we just wanted more from the film. More story. Yeah. I didn't need more music. I just wanted more story. Another 20 minutes of breaking it down. So as we can say, the main thing is, the consensus is, we just wanted a bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
And there we go. And I think we're entitled to that. And it's still a beautiful film regardless.
There is always a reason for something to happen. That's why they couldn't kill Marley.
Wow, just amazing stuff. That was a track right there, produced by one of our talented Bench Beats young creators. They were actually inspired by the film Bob Marley One Love. Now, if you're enjoying the podcast at the moment, and you really love the vibe that we bring here, I would like to recommend you visit thebenchcollective.co.uk and drop us a DM.
One till he leaves. Peace to Bob Marley.
Ever since I was a child, people said my family was cursed. Mom tried to protect us with God. Pop tried to protect us with wrestling. He said if we were the toughest, the strongest, nothing could ever hurt us.
Iron Claw. Only me and you have seen this for. This is the film out of the three
I've been dying
to talk.
about
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one.
Yeah,
Talk to me. You are a wrestling fan as well.
I cannot stress this enough. I am a wrestling fanatic from the age of 8, maybe 9, 10, maybe even earlier than that. Just WWE was it was football, it was cartoons, and it was just WWE.
Okay, so now with that background, and we know that about you. First of all, let's give our what we think of it straight away. For me, how it didn't win an Oscar, how it didn't get nominated.
It was a 10.
I don't throw 10s around like that. A 10 is a perfect movie, and as great. No. 10 is perfection for me. 10 is like a Toy Story. That's perfect. For me, this is 8.5. This is everything. The performances.
Out of the 3 we've watched,
I was blown away. The performances from Zac Efron, especially, who I've grown up with in High School Musical, comedies like Bad Neighbors, to see him to show his acting chops.
It's finally,
unbelievable. I believed it, man. And how this is a true story. How we were saying this before we came on air. How is this a true story? Because it's so sad. It's it's been written, but it is true. So talk to me what you liked about the film. What really spoke to you?
Just coming off that, about asking about how is this a real story? I think that's just the volumes of how influential professional wrestling was back then. It was so over the top.
They highlight it in the movie. You see the fans going crazy.
Yeah.
And I think they captured that essence really well. But as I was saying, please, I want to know why you love, what spoke to you in this film? What did you love?
It's a classic tale, really, because it's just a group of brothers who love each other.
And I think family dynamic.
Yeah. Everyone, I think a lot of people can resonate with that. And they all sort of tried to go after their father's attention. They're all trying to seek his love and
they're all wrestling over his attention.
Yeah. They all have, their father always has the expectation of just greatness because they want to be the greatest family of professional wrestling. I think anyone who knows the Von Erich family
know that story.
It was, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship was just something that eluded them for years.
And then they finally do. But the acting in it, we go back to Zac Efron. We go, even Jeremy Allen White. I've seen him in The Bear, where he's phenomenal. But then again in this, every brother in this film has a problem. Zac Efron is just trying to be the best brother he can. But then you've got someone like Jeremy Allen White, who's a drug addict and going through this. But yet they've all got losses. Everyone's losing a brother here, losing a limb, losing their father's love because now the father wants someone else to be the champion, not you. And it's this massive tussle going on between them all. And it's heartbreaking. And you see the mother going through all of this and the pacing of the film, the cinematography, with A24, when they produce a film, you're going to see greatness. And it was greatness in the ring. It was greatness on the camera. It was greatness between the performances. And I really think what we saw was in 5 to 6 years' time, people will look back on this and be like, wow, this was an amazing, performance-wise movie in my eyes.
Absolutely. And I feel like the Iron Claw is quite possibly the greatest presentation of professional wrestling in film.
Okay.
For a while.
That's amazing to hear.
I don't think we've seen a film that has been able to capture sort of a lot of the aspects. And we're not just talking about professional wrestling in today's terms, but professional wrestling when people thought it was real. We're talking about a major business where it's egos. It's a industry of egos. People thinking that, they're the best and who's not. It's not something that, you're not put on the top because, out of any athletic merit.
I hear you.
It's more of a presentation. And I think
they've done it so well.
They've done it so well.
I wouldn't just say wrestling in general. I would say out of all the films, for a sports film to hit this hard, because there's some tragic stories. This might be one of the most tragic sports stories. Not even just sports stories. I mean, family stories in general and everything in it. I don't really have any gripes with it, any nitpicks. I think maybe in some parts it just drags a little bit and I'm just like, okay, get to the next scene. But apart from that, for me, it's a near flawless movie. And I look at that and I throw my hats off to the directing, the videography, the cinematography, the sound, the action, the way they capture the wrestling. It feels real. Whoever the stunt actors are.
Chavo Guerrero was
and that's what I love to see. They put the wrestling into it for the acting, and that's what I like to see.
Chavo Guerrero helped coordinate a lot, and he's been a massive staple for recreating wrestling.
That's beautiful.
In film and television for the past few years, and I think he's just done an absolutely stellar job.
And that's why I think it ends up, you've put so much heart into this film and done so much research that you hear, and this is how we arrive at our ratings of, I give it an 8.5 and you give it a...
I gave it a 9.
A 9, and there you go.
Generally blown away. For a wrestling
Did you cry?
film, I was close.
Bro, I was at the end of the film. You know what the part that made me cry? At the end of the film, when Zac Efron's sitting over the garden and he's got his kids playing like brothers, and they go to their dad and they go, "Dad, you can be my brother." When I heard that line, I was gone, bawling.
Nah, everyone, I really think you're in for a treat here. We have 2 tracks themed around the feeling of loss. Now, these were both inspired by the film The Iron Claw and produced once again by our talented Bench Beats young creatives.
Let me take you through my life. Picture a child at the age of 5. He never knew his life was a lie. He would sit at home with his mum at night. He thought his mum was at peace of mind. It's sad. Never knew it was as bad. About 5, it was when he started to write. Was taught to channel my emotions in time and music. Guess a lot to do with rap.
That has been the Bench Collective podcast. Thank you again to Picture House Cinemas for giving us the platform to talk, and we hope to see you and you can hear us very soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.
See you later.
The truth was drifting ways, but like I was in the sea. I showed so much love. I ain't know if it was